right, folks. Here we go. All right, I'm having a great little. Oh, God damn it!
Follow Crumb. Follow Crumb. Follow Crumb. Don't follow Crumb.
We don't even care. What's up, Eddie Booze? How you
What's up,
doing,
Eddie?
man? How we doing?
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's see. We got a good little stream ahead of us. Oh yeah.
let me
Let's
turn
see.
that
We got all right. Welcome to the Gravy Brunch. Laurie, Flat Earth, Eric, Alex, Michael. Why are musicians always late? Well, we're on time if when it's musician time. You know, it's like that's a standard.
Mm-hmm. Like that one thing.
Yeah. Now, if I was actually on time, I wouldn't be musical. Shifty Eyes, good to see ya. All right.
Good to see everybody in the chat.
Tony Colioris. Can sure go for a pina colada right now. And the Sween, what up? Good to see you guys. All right. Welcome to the Gravy Brunch. We are kind of late. Holy shit. My bad. This is a special one because we're in the studio together, right?
Yep.
Look at all these keyboards they got back here. Pretty amazing. Definitely not green screened. Nope. So, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
What shape is the world? Just curious.
It's flat, bud.
Is it flat?
It's flat.
Well, that was easy.
Yep.
All right. So,
guess we're done here.
what's your favorite color? I mean, let's move on. Why is it flat?
Oh, geez. I don't know.
When did you make this assertion?
Oh, geez. I think a lot of you guys, I think we've talked about this a couple times on the stream, on
Maybe
different streams before, but like 2015 or so, I think I was doing some work I was just doing some emails online, and I was watching like a NoFX concert on YouTube while I was doing that. And as soon as I was done, I kind of watched the rest of the NoFX concert, but YouTube likes to suggest things, and this is back when YouTube was actually suggesting Flat Earth content.
right.
And I remember ODD used to have a 24/7 Flat Earth live discernment thing going on. So I saw that. YouTube suggested that to me. And so I popped on it, and I was watching the stream. But it wasn't the content that, got my attention. It wasn't the content of ODD's 24/7 live stream. It was
really quick. I realize we don't need these until we listen to something else.
Sure.
And I feel like you're right. That delay is kind of messing with me. So let's just do that. And
Right.
We'll talk. Yeah.
So the content, like I said, wasn't what was interesting me. It was more interesting me the conversation, because it was a live,
Yeah.
24/7 stream. So there was a chat. There was a live chat just like this. And I was watching the live chat, and for about an hour, I saw all the flat earthers, the geocentrists, quoting math, physics, thermodynamics, and proofs, actual proofs.
But they weren't just saying math, astrophysics. They weren't saying those words.
Correct.
They were actually practicing.
It was the curvature equation. And
Right.
certain things of why satellites can't exist or where they're supposed to exist because of thermodynamics and things along those lines, and actual proofs. They
weren't saying because of thermodynamics. They were
correct. Exactly. They were actually
doing thermodynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There's a difference.
And all the globers, all the heliocentrists were saying I can't believe you think this, drink bleach, kill yourself.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck?
That escalates fast, doesn't it?
I was like, what?
They go from you're stupid to why don't you just end your life?
I know.
Like what?
And
that really escalates. Yeah.
I was just like, seriously, like, what the fucking fuck, dude? And I was pissed at them. I was pissed off at the heliocentrists because I was like, I was like, the proof is obviously there. We have all this proof. I was
At
like,
this
somebody
point, you're
start-
kind of leaning towards the heliocentric side. Like, this is my team. You guys
Totally.
are failing.
Totally, exactly.
This reflects badly on my team here.
Exactly. So I went and I looked. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go online and I'm going to do the research and I'm going to come back to this chat
Yeah.
and I'm going to prove all these idiots wrong.
I'm going to put this to bed.
Yeah.
Is Eddie Booze to the rescue. I'm going to
Yeah.
solve this problem.
Yeah.
Internet, don't
That-
you worry
that
about
is
it.
exactly what
I
thought,
got
bro.
this.
I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to go find the real answers.
These people are so stupid. Let me just show them. I went to public school. I'm going to show them a
That's
little
right.
bit of what I know. Is what you did. Yes.
Right.
I understand.
So obviously as soon as you start that, it's it's the rabbit hole. That's
right.
But I like willingly entered that by like going the opposite direction by trying to prove it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was water on a ball. That was the first question that I had to kind of like wrap my head around that I couldn't kind of like.
Let's stop there. This is something I hear a lot. Water on a ball. This is like, in my opinion, to me, I feel like the hardest or the worst proof, because it's been like, that's been ridiculous since day one. But I thought everybody thought it was ridiculous, but then because of like, science and explanations, there is one. But it is ridiculous, water on a ball. So for me, that one never worked with me because I just assumed that people have thought of that and already just was like, well, I guess there's a reason, instead of like, because it is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but I mean, it was always ridiculous, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, but like not to Globers because that's just what they've been taught, And in their minds, there's no rational explanation for why water stays in a sphere. Like gravity pulls it all to the center, but I mean, there's so many different things about that particular point. Like, let's just take like the oblate spheroid thing that Neil deGrasse Tyson said. Like,
right, the pear shape.
If we get a perfectly sphere photograph from NASA every year from space, but yet Neil deGrasse Tyson says we're bowing at such a degree to where the equator should be bigger, and then why aren't we getting, like I said, why aren't we getting pictures that show an oblate spheroid? Number one, even minutely,
Yeah.
and number two, what's more easily displaced, rock or water? If we were spinning at 1,000 miles an hour and we're an oblate spheroid enough to bow the world, wouldn't you think we'd have a belt of water around the equator?
Well, I think the reason why he said that is because on a flat Earth, the southern hemisphere, like time zones are wider, and that's how it would be. We're on a globe; it would be the same, and it's clearly, obviously wider. So they had to be like, well, it must be because
Right.
we're a pair in space. That's not like that. That's so dumb.
So for everyone I meet, it's something different. We'll talk about that.
Right,
But,
no, for sure.
but yeah, man, I mean, so I kept going down the rabbit hole and I kept, and never once once I started looking in, like going down the rabbit hole, it never one time occurred to me to like after I got a significant amount in and once none of it made sense. Once it kind of all fell apart and crumbles, because it has to crumble before you put it back together. Your idea of your model that you've had being stuffed down your throat being true has to somehow break.
At some point, you have zero model now.
Exactly.
Which was probably the scariest part because you didn't know flat Earth. So
Right.
So you're like, well, that's bullshit. And this probably is bullshit too.
Right.
And so you're just left there broken.
So at no point did I ever think to go back to that. Like, at no point did I ever have like the desire to go back there and try and prove these people wrong anymore, because already right off the bat, it was like,
Right.
everything's fucked. This is a personal journey now.
Well, that's the
Like,
difference right there, because most people do. That's the giant difference of why everybody's not a flat earther. You were like, I don't want to be one of those dickheads that are telling people to drink bleach, even though you probably would have had you come up with find some actual any proofs and be like, hey, yeah, fuck off, guys. There's obviously proof. So the fact that like you were able to see that is kind of the litmus test. But so many people do, though. So many people will go, well, let's go into Google. Why aren't these flat earthers just Googling? Stupid. And then just go to the first thing and go, and then parrot that. And then they tell you to drink bleach and then walk around thinking that they're so smart.
Right.
Why are you different? Why were you different?
I don't know. You know what? Here, I, I think one of the main reasons why I was able to palate it from the beginning and kind of take it in was because nobody told me. I went and looked for it myself. Like I found
Yeah.
this challenge that I was that and then when I went to like start looking into it, it was mine. Like I didn't like nobody told me, nobody like tried to tried to like
I
shove
think if
the
I
idea
would have,
down my
I think if
throat.
I would have known you then and I would have brought it up, you would have been open to it.
Sure. I mean,
But you would have done most of that research on your own, and the more aggressive I would have been, probably the more resistant you would have been.
well, it did take me a while. It wasn't like overnight. It was like
Yeah.
I would say like 3 to 6 months of like solid like everyday like research, and then when I finally like came to the idea like to the point where I was self acknowledging that I was a flat earther or a geocentrist. At that point, I was just like, all right, cool, the Earth's flat.
Oh,
And that was it. And then I just
guess
was
it's
like, all right,
flat.
I'm gonna go on with my life.
All
I
right,
guess.
moving on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think a large part of that acceptance was that I kind of inherently already knew that it was flat. Like
we all do, I think, on a subconscious level.
nothing about like I loved astronomy and cosmology and everything about that growing up, but none of it ever made sense to me. I
No.
had so many questions as a kid about the model that never got answered.
But
and
I
was
thought
like,
everybody
"The
else
fuck?"
did get it, and I just didn't. So I kept my mouth shut.
No, it like confirmed to me that my observations my entire life had been true. It was almost like
Pictures of space always looked ridiculous to me. I'm like, this is so stupid. But that, I mean, when like in history books, when you're like, or science books in elementary school, is that why?
no. I always thought, wow, there's supernovas and crazy shit out there and like the cool stuff and
Right.
and I always just like I thought someday we'll be out there and we're gonna have to leave Earth because it's so in danger.
Oh, we trashed this planet because we're the worst bullshit species ever. On this random rock, we just fucked it up. This fucking random. Yeah, God, we suck.
I know.
Yeah, that's why we don't go to Antarctica. We'll trash the whole place.
I loved astronomy. Tony, man, I'm telling you, man,
yeah.
that was my thing. I loved it
I
so
loved it
much,
too.
and it just like
I cried reading The Martian, or like that book where.
it's a good movie.
Where Matt Damon goes up there and he's like, I need to science the shit out of this. And he's like, I figured out that if I take a dump in this Martian fucking rock, I can make potatoes. And I'm like, oh, he figured it out. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson had the audacity to come on and say, actually, the author is 100% right. He's very accurate. It's like, and I'm like, wow, he must have really done his homework. No.
Right.
It's all fiction anyway. What are the odds? What are they when he's like, yep, that's it. But dude, I cried. I was reading that book and I cried.
Right?
Like an asshole. Like
Like an
like a
asshole.
fucking asshole. I'm like, oh yeah.
No, I mean, I loved it, But
I
you know
loved
what's-
it too.
You know what's funny though? Like like even through all of that, I never believed the moon landing was real.
Right. Right.
Like that always seemed like no, I don't.
Right.
But for me, like my like biggest thing about the moon landing was I like the basics of audio and video transmission never played for me. Like I don't get how in the late 60s they were transmitting audio and video with a 6-minute delay from 238,000 miles away
There is an answer to that.
to the
The
Earth.
answer is science,
Science.
and
Right.
smarter people than you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Right.
drink bleach.
I know, right?
That's the answer. No, honestly, I worked at a radio station and learned a little bit about how transmissions work. There's this giant generator in the back of Jack FM and K Rock in LA. It's huge. It generates so much energy. So basically, you got electricity and you got sound waves, and then you kind of like they have sex and then they just shoot out. And the more electricity you have, the farther it can go, essentially. And
Tower joined.
with like FM waves are faster. That's why they're better. That's why FM sounds better.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's smaller waves, so it takes a lot more energy because it's more condensed. Where AM, it needs less energy, and that's why they use it for talk because it's not as high. It's not as like the quality goes bad, but you can shoot it a lot farther.
Sure.
Takes less electricity. For 240,000 miles, and that's what they did. I'm like, what's the technology? Like, oh, it was radio. So that means like they would have had to generate so much energy on the moon
From the moon.
from the moon. And then the closest bullshit explanation I got was, well, space is like zero, so it can just shoot right through it. Like it just shoots right through it.
So
like it
from
only
there to
atmosphere.
here, it's like actually nothing. It's
Yeah.
actually like nothing.
It's nothing.
It's actually zero. It's actually 0 miles
Right.
because of
well, at least,
radio
but
and
still,
science.
just the atmosphere from like the tippy top of space or the atmosphere to the Earth is still
Something.
Yeah, it's 250 miles.
Right.
You can't. LA is not sending out a radio.
Yeah,
signal.
I don't get K-Rock 250 miles away from
Nobody
here.
does. So yeah, that's and then that's like that was like after like fucking 6 months of but the flag moving, but
Right.
like the basic ones. So I know. I forgot where we were at. Okay, the moon. Where are we at? Oh, Jeremy, thanks, brother, for the super chat. Much love.
Scroll back up to Mad Max comment right there about education.
Here we go.
Our education in the public schooling system is in a direct contradiction to the Bible and reality as we know it.
Right. Yeah, well, the separation of church and state kind of, I just assumed that the Bible was the wrong one when I was growing up, to be honest, and I think that's why. And, yeah.
Well, talking about that right there, like, going back to when I first found Flat Earth, I was, right around that time, I started dating this science teacher.
Yeah, this is a good story, guys. This is good.
So like when I was starting my journey through the flat earth kind of rabbit hole, I was dating this science teacher and a middle school science teacher. And as you're starting this, we all have questions, it's not, so we start with, you all know the whole pushback that you get when you try and talk to the people that are close to you or that you can get, so
Right.
I experienced that with this woman I was dating. And I started to talk to her about it and ask her questions about it and ask her to help me wrap my head around the globe model and how and why it's, give me the evidences. Help me understand. Help me understand why the idea of flat earth is a joke, and she couldn't answer not only one question. She didn't, not even one question for me. She couldn't answer anything. She wouldn't do an experiment with me. I wanted to rent a telescopic lens with an atmospheric refracting lens, go down to the beach, pick a oil rig that was too far off for us to see with our naked eye, and zoom in and see if we could find it. And she wanted nothing to do with it. And she told me that it was offensive to her core.
Yeah.
That I even entertained the idea and asked her these questions. And so that was the close to the end of that relationship. So
Yeah,
but
it's ridiculous. You think that people in education, that's what you want is to just look for truth.
Right, exactly.
Just like you think that doctors
science,
are all
right?
they got into medicine because they care so much about your health.
Right.
It's just like I care about music on like a level, and so do you. Like I understand, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I love music. Just so that must be inherently in me. Just like I assume doctors love finding good shit out, but no, they love money. And teachers like are just doing it. They don't have like that.
Yeah, and they love their reputations and they love being right.
Right.
And so science is no longer science. Science has become scientism.
Right.
It's become the religion of science. It's become believe what we've told you.
Yep.
No new ideas are welcome. And that's it. Although they have the new idea. This is the original idea. This is the thing that everybody has known for centuries and centuries and centuries. You know what I'm saying? That they only just recently in our modern history started to, lie to us about, lie to the general
We need
public.
a new word for the science. Like science needs to become what religion was. Like that word, like because religion was like doctrine at one point. Like, oh, the church says it's true, and they're like, okay. And then science came along, and was like, well, the church doesn't know everything. Now science knows everything. Well, what's the next one? Schmience?
Right.
Science, neoscience? Let's get our headphones on here. We're gonna take a call.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh shit. Oh, I lost my headphones. 1 second.
That Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler's here.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, very exciting.
Sunday was a blast, man.
So yes, I'm gonna bring on our guest Tyler Greenwell, the drummer for Tedeschi Trucks. Huge band, huge. After watching this show, I've basically been practicing guitar, to a stupid level because I like all this did was just shove in my face.
We played
how
last night.
amateur I am on my instrument.
Bullshit! This guy's
It's not good enough. Not good enough.
Unbelievable
You got Derek Trucks up there.
Yeah, last night we played a show and this guy doesn't bring a pick.
That's right. Yeah.
Because Derek
Trucks didn't play with the pick. I'm like, I'm done with picks. I'm done with picks. I know, totally inspired. Anyways, this guy he's the drummer for this band, huge group. One of us guys, one of us.
I mean, totally.
We had a great time. I'm gonna bring on Tyler. What up, Tyler? Are you there? I'm not hearing you. Keep talking, brother. Is your audio on? You hear me okay? Oh, he's working on it. He's working on it.
He'll get back to us.
He'll get back to us.
There's a little mute button at the bottom.
You might
if
be
click your
muted.
screen and hit the mute button. It'll unmute you.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about that show. Oh, hell
Which
yeah.
one?
Run Boston
Oh.
says he saw him in Dallas. Tell him JD said hi. So yeah,
So good.
incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more time.
Fellas.
Hey, what up? Hear ya.
Hello? Hey, you hear me?
I
Hey, you
hear
hear me?
us?
I hear ya.
Hey, fellas. Hey, sorry about that.
No worries.
Hey,
Awesome.
run Boston Barely. I know that dude.
Yeah.
Just for the record, no one in Tedeschi trucks is into this stuff. Not a one person except me. I just got to
All
put
right,
that
well,
out,
let's
put
work
that
on
out
that.
there.
You said one guy that
Oh, the
that you guys were
photographer.
Close, right?
I won't
know.
name him.
Yeah, there was like a young kid that looked like intern level that
Yeah, he was.
You know.
He was ready.
He's
yeah.
a photographer, so he sees that all the
is there an
pictures
echo?
are totally fine.
Oh, no,
No.
let's go. Okay, I fixed the echo, I think.
You got it?
Let me know if there's still an echo, guys. Yeah. Should be good now.
That's right. That was the because it has to be.
Right.
Yeah, there's
so-
a bad echo because there has to be.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is about
again,
that.
let me state for the record, no one in Tedeschi Trucks band agrees with this and at all.
Okay, let me
All right?
ask you something.
I have to say that.
Yeah, give the disclaimer.
What
make
is there like of all the times you did bring it up and just felt bold enough to bring it up? Give me the worst, like the biggest blooper if this was on a reel of the reactions that you were not expecting.
Oh man.
I mean, you're a musician. You're
I
around
don't
some
know if I-
kooky people, very open-minded. You would think. What do you?
No, I don't recommend this for anybody. Like, you better have
No,
some-
exactly.
I
tell
you better
people
have some
don't look
thick
into it.
skin. No,
Yeah.
man, I definitely don't recommend this to people that can't handle ridicule and
Yeah.
isolation. You know what?
No.
I don't know if I can tell these stories because I don't want to. Then you have to start
I
bringing
understand.
names into it. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? I got to
Understandably.
keep these guys out of it because they already hate it. So,
No, I
you know,
completely get
we were
that.
we were watching the NBA finals the other day, and they're like, "Who are you rooting for?" I was like, "No, I mean, Kyrie Irving, obviously." They're like,
Whatever Kyrie's doing. I don't even know.
"Oh, because he's
Yeah,
a flat
exactly.
earther." I was like, actually, yeah, it's gotten that petty. So
I know. It's so true. One
no,
of
but
us.
these people are my dearest best friends in the world that I work with. They're amazing, good people.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy about it. Everyone in my life they can't get with it, but they're also the best people. They just can't fathom that someone would lie to them, or that the
Right.
authorities would lie to them about something so important, something that could just upend the fabric of reality in an
Wouldn't it
instant.
be weird if you woke one of them up and then like the next show they played like really bad because that's all they were thinking about? And
No,
then
it would
you know what?
the band would tank. I'm telling you, it would. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
There would
No,
just be just
if
so
I
many. Yeah. Go
if I'm
ahead.
being honest, I mean I phone it in most of the time because I'm thinking about spherical trigonometry. I'm
Yeah.
definitely up there just totally half-assing it. I'm like, I wonder if, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you boys. That was so much
Yeah,
fun,
man.
man. That
We
was
had
a
a
What a,
blast,
blast.
we
man.
had a blast.
You
Dude,
guys
such
are
a good
legends,
time.
and it was
Thank you for
everyone
the
I've met
invite.
in this
Yeah.
community through, and really Dave Weiss is instrumental in meeting all you guys. Everyone I've
Big
met
time.
is it's been an amazing. I'm just like I could. This is like my best friend immediately. Like we're everyone's so dialed in immediately. Yeah, there's info. I'm sure there's all kinds of. There's the human experience, right, where there's problems and arise within this community, but for the most part, everyone is on the same page, and there's some real
Oh yeah.
camaraderie and
Well,
instant likeness with each other.
yeah, because I mean, a big part of that is because our values are connected. Our values
Yeah,
are aligned. And
Hmm.
we're seeing something that most people aren't. And
Well, it's so
there's something to
niche
that.
too. Like at the moment, it's so niche that like who's going to
Right.
like the same type of people are going to find each other. It's just like any kind of niche, they're going to be pretty similar until it gets more popular and more convoluted with and just gets more normal. But yeah, when I went to my first meetup, I'm like, these are my peeps. Like everybody there, like we were all smoking a fucking pack of smokes in an hour. We're like, there's very unique types, and it's just like exactly.
Well,
It's
that's how
crazy.
Crumb and I became friends. I
Yeah.
mean, we had known each other for years, or kind of known, had met, here acquaintances. And my bass player said, "Oh, we were talking flat Earth one day, and my bass player said, "Oh, you should meet Crumb. He's a flat earther." I invited Crumb over to a jam that day. Crumb came over. After the jam, Crumb calls me and goes, "Hey, man, do you mind if I come over and talk flat Earth with you?" And because he had never met anybody
This is well,
that was a
okay.
flat
This
earther.
this is how it went down. We had a jam, and he hit me up. It's like, hey man, I'd love to do like jam more with you and stuff. And like obviously yes. I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do that sometime. I like pretty common response. Not really thinking of like, yeah, sure.
Music.
And then he was
Yeah.
like, hey, also, I heard that you're into flat or geocentrism. Let me talk to you about that too. Then I was like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Like, like I was like, yeah, we could jam sometime in the future. Well, that's cool. And then I was like, wait a minute, my schedule just got wide fucking open.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Obviously,
that was that.
Everything else kind of takes a back seat. I mean, when
It's a
I
trip.
first saw it, when I first saw it, I was so excited to tell people around me, and then I
yeah, I
realized
know.
quickly, like, oh man, this is really toxic. Like this can really
Yes.
disrupt
Yeah,
relationships. And
that's the thing I'm
there's a
trying
part
to
of me
figure
I
out.
wish I had. I sort of feel I wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
Hey Tyler, have you
Seen
had
it.
the instances where people have actually distanced themselves from you in general just because of having these conversations? Like I was telling you about that science teacher I was dating. Like I was just wondering if you had any instances like that, like with people close
Well,
to you, you talk
no,
to them about it, they're like,
no, because no, it's not like that. I'm sure, because most of the people I'm around for the large majority of the time were already very tight. But I
gotcha.
can tell
Yeah.
they were, I can tell that how they reacted. If I were to push it, it would really heat
Right.
things up quickly. It would escalate
Musicians
quickly.
kind of get a free pass to kind of like
we're already
venture into
crazy.
kooky land anyway. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
something. There's a little bit of a
Yeah.
freedom there with being a musician that is a little different. So that is, So if you know your
musicians are
bounds, like you can,
contrarians by nature,
yeah,
right? Like we're all. It's the whole thing about doing music and really devoting your life to it was kind of, fight the power, man. Like we're doing,
right.
do whatever we want. We don't, no rules here and that kind of thing.
Hey
But
Tyler,
yeah,
I was curious. Before you found Flat Earth, were you like open to other conspiracies and things like that, or?
I mean, yeah, I was, but I mean, I guess sure I was, but I wasn't actively pursuing them. If I heard something that was off the beaten path, I was like, wow, I could see how that I could see how that
Yeah.
would be possible. But I just didn't.
Interesting.
I Yeah, I would say, well, as far as flat Earth and space and all that stuff, and God, flat Earth is such a triggering word, right? Like, there's got to be
Yeah.
a better
Yeah.
word. But um, I never. I was just with conspiracy. It's funny with space, as I blindly believed. I was like, yeah, God, that's crazy. That's that.
What about moon landing? Where were you on the
I
moon
was
landing
told I
before
was
you?
totally into all that stuff.
No
But I
shit.
never
So
looked into it. I never questioned it. I just
Right.
blindly believed it. And my idea of space was from Star Wars, or from Hollywood,
Yep.
2001. Like
right.
that's like everyone's, I think.
Same.
So
Yep.
I never looked into anything about it. I just blindly believed it, and um, man, was I wrong. I think. I mean,
Right.
hopefully it'll be proven one way or the other soon, and we can put it to rest. And either we can either we'll all be heroes, or we'll be the same outcasts that
Right.
we've always been.
Oh
So,
yeah. Well, either
either way, things will
way,
be the same. Yeah, it'll be exactly the
e-
same.
e- even if we are wrong, like it addressed a giant lack of evidence in an area that needed it. And if there actually is evidence that of the ball and stuff, it just put a fire in their ass to manifest something that's believable. Or I mean, like we'll ever believe it, obviously. But like, if we are wrong, then at the very least, this movement would create a fire in their ass to like do that, because science is failing. If this argument is at this level, that's science's fault. They blame us for being outside thinkers and pushing stuff on. This wouldn't exist if, well, one, if it wasn't a lie, but two, if it was real. What a failure they're doing when they just say, oh, because of Eratosthenes 3,000 years ago, sticks and shadows. Well, doesn't that work on a flat Earth? Yeah, but there's this other city. Well, what about that city? Oh, never mind. We're moving on. We just knew it was a globe, and here's the proof. It's like, but where was, like, there's nothing there. And that in flat Earth, this is the only time anyone's ever looked at it critically, which is what science should have. So at the worst case scenario, which is impossible, worst case scenario is we made science, like accountable for their assertions. You know what I mean?
I do.
But that's not going to happen. What's going to happen in 6 months is the biggest "I told you so's" of all time, and we're going to walk around like, yeah. What you think about that? Antarctica, no sun setting over there.
So what is happening in
Oh,
December?
you don't know?
No, you. I just would like you to kind of.
We were talking a little bit about this. So yeah, the final experiment. Hopefully, this happens. 2 globe believers and 2 flat earthers go down to South Pole, Edmonton Scott Station. And if there is a sun physically in the sky where you have to turn around and film it, and not daylight for 24 hours, physical sun in the sky, that cannot happen on a flat Earth. It's impossible. That's how we see it in the north, but opposite way. And it should be the same in the south, even though there's no footage of it. All the webcams cut out right at the money shot. on every one of them. And the ones in the few videos that claim that are on YouTube, they're obviously doctored, which is sketch as fuck. So, they're, go down there and see what happens. If the sun goes over an horizon and sets, it's not a ball. And that's it. And it should put this to bed if we're allowed to go there. So,
Oh man, I
it'd
hope
be
those
nice.
guys take care. I hope they're safe. That's a
Yeah.
that's a sketchy trip, man. Who's all
You
going?
said
know.
yeah. Who's all going? You said they're
Well,
going with 2 flat
I
earthers
think
and 2
it's
globers, right?
Do you guys know in the chat here? I mean, so far I know Jaron was entertaining it, and perhaps he was going to ask Austin Whitsitt to go with. Man, it would be such a loss though if something happened to them. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah. If anybody has any update on this, let me know in the chat. But
I wish those guys to. Yeah, I hope they're safe. Or
Safe trip,
could you
right?
bring like a bunch of like ex Green Berets with you, or so like
Right.
where's like a protection unit?
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. I'm
Something.
wondering if
Some
like the
bruiser.
low frequency band that can like travel really far, if they're somehow able to get like a walkie-talkie or some sort of technology to keep them in contact 24/7, so they that they have there's not like a dead zone, and we can kind of like if there's a way we can keep an eye on them 24/7 so they don't get the talking to you know um but who knows, I don't know. It sounds like it'd be nice to put this to bed instead of having it as a debate, but
Now, do you think that even if it does get put to bed, that the people who are globers will accept it?
I
No
don't.
way. Nah,
I mean,
they'll
yeah,
figure
they'll
out
probably.
something. Maybe
Yeah.
not, but maybe some of them. It depends on if they're intellectually honest and willing to see what's up.
I predict
Right.
this. I predict the sun's gonna set, and then an artificial sun will come out of nowhere, and in the south, and like on the other side, or something like that to give the illusion. And I think they'll film it setting, and also show that it's a lie. But the Globers will be like, no, that's just normal, and that's the same sun. And then you're gonna have a debate about like, wait a minute, like that's a different sun. That's what I think is going to happen. So hopefully they get good enough footage where you can like zoom in on the sun, look at all the sunspots of the real sun and make sure whatever, if it is there, it's the exact same, layout. Because every day the spots look different. So if it's, you'll be able to tell if it's slightly different, But I don't know. It's weird. It would be.
I kind of hope that the sun doesn't set. That would just make then we would stop being like pariahs. You could just be like, we were wrong. We're gonna go back to jamming and focus on that only.
No, I would just spend the next all my time like, how can that work on a flat Earth?
No, that's what I'm joking.
Obviously, we're not going to accept that shit either. You know that.
No, of course not. No one's going to.
Those Globers will never accept it. Yeah, we're no different.
No, I know.
No, but I like your way you think about that, man, because that is true. Because that is true. I would go back to if it is proven. I mean, that's what I wanted when I first looked into it. So I would just get what I want. I mean, I'd hate to say that because I put more energy towards something. If I was wrong, like we should not be afraid of the truth. That's what it's all about. We should not be afraid of the truth.
Sure.
Should not. It's exciting. I hope those dudes do it, but I hope they're careful and I hope they prove us right. That'll, on all honesty, because it's been a brutal kind of new belief system to adopt it and trying to tell your loved ones, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
How long have you been?
Couple.
I like
couple
to
years.
use the word I like to use the word like geocentric or geocentrist instead of flat Earth, because, like you said, flat Earth is pretty, triggering.
Ooh.
So I say geocentric. You know,
geocentric doesn't. It's just the term flat Earth. I could say it's a fucking anything. Any other kooky shit is fine, but flat
that
Earth is
word,
bad.
you're right, triggers the shit out of
Didn't you
people.
talk about like somebody said a flat universe? Was that you that you were talking about?
Yeah, I was
the other
talking. Well, I
day?
was talking to this guy, and he was talking about, he's apparently a really smart guy, and he was talking about space, time, and all this stuff. All this stuff I have no idea. I mean, I can't follow it. I haven't I haven't looked into it, and but he was talking about how the universe is just basically a straight line, and how the universe is flat, but that's it, everything. And I was like, what do you mean the universe, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, it's flat, but nothing else is. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Well, that's
have it
strange
your way,
because
dude.
that's well, when people say where's the edge of on a flat Earth, you could easily reply, well, where's the edge of space? It's the same concept, but it seems like that's a gotcha question. So if I'm like, hey, I'm a flat universer, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to flat smack you and talk, like here's, I believe the universe is flat. People don't get triggered. They're like, oh, that sounds good because
They
that's
don't.
because it actually feels like bullshit, and they're like, bullshit is what I've been taught is real.
That's
And then when you
what I
say,
resonate with.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I was talking to somebody on Monday about flat Earth, and about how people get triggered, and she was like, "Why do you think that is?" And I think the real reason is because on a subconscious level, deep down, everybody knows that it's true, and that we've been gaslit because our senses will tell us it's flat and stationary. There's been nothing that our senses has checked off a list to be like, oh yeah, it's a ball. So like deep down on a subconscious level, that's not settled. We've been conditioned to say it's settled by fear and by like, just by the society's like, conformity. But I think people get mad because it reminds their body that they're internally, they have not checked it off the list with their senses, and it's scary.
It's a pretty astute observation. I never thought
You
about
think
that.
that?
Well, I mean, it's totally makes sense because remember what I just told you about? It confirmed for me,
Yeah,
just for me inside, all the things as a kid that I felt were true and questioned the model, but there were never real answers. It was just like, because we said so, and here's the
Right.
movies, and here's
It's just
space,
too complicated to
too
explain.
complicated to understand. You don't worry about
There
it.
are guys
But I
that-
always
yeah.
had that feeling inside of me, even though I grew to love astronomy and cosmology and shit like that. But it like finding the geocentric model, it finally made me like, oh, I was right before. I was right before. I was right when I was
Yeah.
growing up. I was right about to have all those questions and to actually, not necessarily just take in all the bullshit I was being sold,
Mhm.
So I think you're right about that. I think that our senses in general have this, I think that we have an innate ability as human beings to have this thing called intuition,
Right.
and I think that it's beaten out of us from an
Mhm.
early age,
Mhm.
Part of the schooling isn't just to train us to be drones, from the,
Trust
how school
authority.
is. It's to drop your own idea of what, your senses are telling you and just believe what we are telling you,
Right. Right. At a time when we like entertained the Santa Claus thing, that's when our minds are so open because we're like, well, there's this fat guy that gives me presents every year in the same day. So anything could be on the table here. And yeah, man, it's weird. It's weird. And the scare, like what's for me, why it matters so much is watching these people who've been getting all these A's and they're just like regurgitating. Well, if you look into like quantum theory and string theory, and they just say all this stuff, I'm just thinking, wow, look how much time and effort they spent on nonsense.
Yeah.
It's sad to me. Like I would get triggered when they talk because like it's like me projecting. Like they're acting out a part of me that like I'm trying to like kill or that I identify with. So I'm like, oh, dude, like fuck that guy because like I'm not that guy anymore, but a part of me was, and it like hurts my feelings relating to him. But you know, I don't know. When I take myself out of the equation, it really is just kind of disturbing, if anything, just watching this to our species. Just sitting there touting, well, you're stupid for believing flat Earth, and this guy's been so brainwashed with this hubris of expertise, and it's hard for me to watch. You know, I don't know. It's tough. Anyways,
It's tough
hey,
out there, man. It's tough
yeah, it's
out
rough
there.
out there.
It's tough
a
out
rough
there
life.
for the black group.
It's hard being flat and
It
stationary.
is, man. It's hard. I'm telling you, it's one of the hardest things anyone could ever undertake is that way of thinking. People.
Do you remember
people
we
are
were telling
very
you about
nasty.
we were telling you about that bet that we did that I had to flat smack yesterday?
So
Oh well, yeah,
let's-
where you had to recite 5 minutes at a live
Yes,
gig.
that's right.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
He did that yesterday. So
I did
just to
that.
fill everyone in on what happened here. Crum and
Yeah.
I play poker a few nights a week.
Right.
And after our game the other night, we had all cashed out and Crum and I were still hanging out. And Crum wanted to buy back in.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to buy back in. I had won. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I had a winning night. I don't want to fucking buy back in and lose it. And so he was like, well, let's gamble for other stakes. So we sat there for about an hour trying to like throw back and forth what we were going to gamble for. You
Yeah,
know,
if
winner
I
take
win,
all.
you gotta do this for me. If you win, you gotta do this for me. And the first hour was just all things we would have done for each other anyway, which was
Exactly.
actually a nice little thought experiment.
It was pretty
really
cool.
sweet.
Yeah.
Now we have like a laundry list of favors we gotta do for each
In
other.
fact,
but like,
in fact, after the stream today,
Yeah.
because of that, we're gonna head over to my place and I'm gonna start producing his album for him. So we're gonna start working on that literally right after the stream today because of that.
I guess I just needed to ask. I didn't know. But that's not what we settled on. What we settled on was we had to come up with something we didn't really want to do.
And so the thing was that whoever lost had to try and flat smack the waitress or the server and the bartender at the bar that we play at on Tuesdays. It's
Right.
a really nice restaurant, by the way. It's like a restaurant on the water,
Oh,
looks out
man.
over the bay. It's it's not like a dive bar by any means, or anything like that. So we get done with our show, and I get my
Yeah.
phone out on the little thing, and
I thought he was gonna forget. I was hoping
Yeah.
he would.
I walked over to Crum. He was sitting at the bar with a buddy of ours, and I told him, "You ready to do this?" And I'm on camera, and he said, "Yep." And we're gonna show you the video right here. But just so you know, the manager, I play there every week. Crum plays there with me a lot, and Crum also plays there on other nights. And so when the manager came down in the middle of this video that we were filming, by the way, the server had no idea, so she has this camera in her face, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" So the manager comes down at some point in the middle and like kind of grabs me and is like, "Hey, what is happening here?" I explained it to her. She loved it. She thought it was hilarious. So she was totally cool with it. But like for a minute, like I back up and I'm like explaining to her what's happening, and then she was like talking about how she wants to join the poker nights. So, but I jumped back in there as fast as I could. But just
Who knew?
so there was a little break there.
Yeah. Well, so should I show the video of me?
Yeah, dude, that's what we did it for. And hey,
I've flat smacked people before, but like this was weird. I felt like I don't know. I felt weird, so I had a whole different approach. I'm very nervous here, and it actually. So I'm just gonna play. This is the bet.
play it.
All right, here
You
we
did
go.
a great job.
No, I didn't.
No, you did. She went from.
What the hell's going on here?
Dave, have you considered looking into the flat Earth? Jesus,
Can we talk about something else?
I can't.
For me, with me?
With anybody at the bar.
No,
here.
no, no.
Should I not do it with him?
No, you have to.
I got
You already know me. That's you gotta go.
Real quick, I just want to Run Boston Bear. Thanks for the super chat. Since meeting you after the concert in Dallas, haven't had a sip of alcohol because of your inspiring story.
That is awesome.
That's cool. So you met Run
man.
Boston up in
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
What an
Right on.
awesome guy. Met he and his wife.
Dude, he's
a couple of his friends. He's a great dude.
Great
that guy.
dude, great
Dude,
dude.
huge
Wow, nice work,
congrats,
man.
Run Boston Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Nicely
yeah.
done.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
No,
All right, what'd you say?
go ahead, man. No, this is nope. Gotta
No,
play
this gets
video.
kind of fun. Yeah, we got time. We can do this. It's just 5 minutes. Are you a conspiracy fan?
Yes.
Did you already give her the rundown?
I did never give her the rundown.
Do you believe in the moon landing? The moon landing, Les.
Like people landing on the moon?
Yeah, do you think it happened as it said it did?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
So I had my work cut out for me.
Well, have you considered that it's all a lie and there's a flat
So have you considered that that's all a lie? I didn't know how to
Great
broach
way to
this
start
subject.
the conversation, by the way.
I
That was
really didn't know how to
fantastic.
approach this subject with her because
You don't really know her that well.
I don't know her that well, and it didn't feel like an organic way to bring it up. So it was completely new to me. It's like, have you ever considered that? That's a lie.
And you could see by the look on her face that she's kind of like, what the fuck is happening?
What?
You know?
She's like trying to work tables right now. Like this is in between her like taking orders. So okay, here we go.
But there still can be a moon, but it would look something like this. And this is like a new thing going on. People have discovered since the P900 zoom cam.
You know the P900, of course.
More attractive. If you look at it. Hi, Joy. How you doing?
The manager is watching me now.
I've got a film crowd talking.
And then
right,
this
so
is where I
yeah.
had to explain to her what's happening.
I wanted to see what was going on, but hoping
He's trying to tell. Well, you'll see. He's trying to.
So here I am. I'm cracking an egg of knowledge over here. So you can't really hear it. Should I fast forward?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Fast forward. Yeah, I'll play that.
We'd love to have you. From Thursdays.
So yeah, okay. Right now you're talking to the manager, and she's like, "Wow, that's cool. I'm into the flat earth, and I'll play poker." And we're
Bro.
like, "That didn't make any sense."
I guarantee you, if we were able to talk to Joy like on a poker night, she would
Well,
come around.
absolutely.
Guarantee
poker,
it.
Poker is a great place to flat smack. In between waiting tables was it's kind of tough. But look, she's actually.
Oh, she went from.
Here we go.
Here, this is basically what every religion, every ideology thought it was. And then NASA came along with gravity and all this science that they finded us. But ultimately, it's something that we couldn't prove. So, yes, Eddie, he got me into it.
I got him
He's
into
a
it. Yeah.
huge flat earth over here.
Yes, I got him into it. Yes,
See,
it
now
was,
it
it's all
didn't
me.
sound
No.
kinda
And now
cool.
you're showing me that. I'm
So
like,
yeah, it's kind of wild. And yeah, this is every single map, everything from
Oh,
every culture. If you look at it, everything, even in the Bible, it shows a firmament, like it says in Genesis, and a flat earth, and a dome, and that's what Genesis.
God, I
is.
sound like a
That's exactly
psycho.
what this is if you look up maps of the world, everything but NASA is this basically, and this is what our forefathers for a long, long time thought the world was. And then when Copernicus came along and they said, no, wait, it must be a ball because that's the circle. And now we're kind of just in this stuck little world.
I gotta work on it.
Boys, this is brutal. Oh, this poor
I
lady.
think he should.
I mean, at the very least,
I know.
craziness.
I had to do 5 minutes. This was the bet.
I know. That what?
I would have walked away a long time.
Right.
And
But
he
listen,
did the full
listen.
5.
Listen to her right
I
here.
looked at it, I'm like, that's pretty legit.
Ask your own
legit.
questions.
Wow.
Talk about it a little bit. We'll talk about it another
Don't
time.
take our word for it. Like, actually, like, investigate.
I'll send you some links. I'll send you some links.
That's cool. A lot of people,
No,
you'd be surprised.
she-
A lot of people really get crazy on it. This is an app. My friend Dave Weiss, he made this app here, and it actually has people that sign up for it, and you'll see how many people are actually waking up to this. I'll show you. Right here. Where's the friend finder?
She's like,
I was hitting the button and nothing was happening on
Dave,
the
your
app.
app. I'll get done. Yes,
Nothing
we
was
gotta get
happening on the app.
Cool, thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome.
5 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yeah.
He actually
Wow.
did the full 5 minutes, and
Full
then
5 minutes.
after Crumb,
Respect.
then after Crumb went back to the bar to hang out with Dave, I talked to Lark for a little bit and let her know that we were gonna show this on the show, and she was totally cool with it. And
No,
not
when I
only
showed
that,
her the app though, like her eyes were like, "Wait a minute, that does make sense." It actually worked.
after he talked to her, I talked to her for a little bit, and she was totally open to the idea. She was like, actually, like that. she was like, that I have a lot of questions. She was like, send me some stuff, you know? So I'm going to send her some stuff on it. And like, you planted the seed, dude. Like, your 5 minutes worked, dude. She didn't instantly scoff at you and run away. Like,
I thought she was gonna be like, "The fuck, I got shit to do."
Yeah, I know, right?
Because I would have, I was prepared
you
to
did
follow
good.
her to her tables if she was that busy. Like I had to do 5 minutes was 5 minutes.
You were unknowingly creating flat Earth pickup lines. You didn't even know.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
That's
there should
true.
be a-
have you, do you believe in the moon landing? Yeah. Well, have you considered that all of that is a lie?
Yeah, have you seen that's all a lie and everything you've been taught is bullshit?
Yeah, right.
Let's take it from me, the musician that just played in your bar and ordered 2 Jamesons.
Yeah. You guys are hilarious. That's great, man.
Yeah,
Respect.
man.
You did the full 5 minutes. Yeah, I bet that was
Full
tough,
5.
man. That's incredible.
Pulled it off, dude.
That's
Yeah,
why
that
it
was
kind of
good.
threw me off because I was like, how I had to like keep her attention, and I just had a whole different approach than
Like, you're
that.
charismatic and you're funny, and it wasn't like you were like trying to like, hey, I need to sit down and like hear it. You know what I mean? You really, you're really good about that.
She was way more open to it than I thought. That
Yeah.
was funny. So
Yeah,
so I guess like moral of the story, guys, is don't be afraid.
smack
Don't be
somebody.
afraid. Look how easy that was, and then it worked out okay. Did we lose Tyler? You still there?
I think he's still there.
Oh, you just probably
Like, put
the
his phone
camera's
down,
off.
put the camera off, yeah.
Right on. Oh, we lost him. I think we may have lost Tyler, but thanks for being on, brother. Maybe he had to get going. Oh, yeah, dude.
Go back up to that comment about kids right there.
Right here.
The reason kids have a stronger intuition is because they are less inundated in the chemical cultural soup of things meant to separate you from the ability to connect to the great resonation. Who wrote that?
Oh, that was Sween?
Who wrote that?
Sween. Yeah, I know. Sween knows what's up.
Brilliantly put.
Yeah. I hope Tyler's all right. I don't know if he was saying bye or not, but he's a busy guy. The show was amazing, and it was so nice talking to him. And like you guys, we are everywhere, and we all have our own different little different unique way of doing this.
Yeah, I had no idea that Steph Carpenter was a flat earther.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine, bass player for my old band Halfton, he would always tell me, "Oh, me and Steph are good friends. We go golfing all the time." And
right.
I kind of like blew him off. I was like, "Oh, bullshit."
Yeah.
And then one time, him and I were at NAMM, and he was like looking at the schedule, and he goes, "Oh shit, Steph's here." He calls him on the phone, says, "Hey, dude, I'm here with my buddy." Like fucking 2 minutes later, Steph Carpenter walks out from the back from the ESP booth, and he grabs us, takes us backstage, hung out with Steph, and for the rest of the day and chilled. I had no clue, and you were saying like what a small world this is. That like these synchronicities, like
the fact that that and Jared, knowing Jared, like how do you
grew
know?
up with Jared.
Explain, like Jared was the guest last week.
So
that I met through Eddie. Tell him how you know it, Jared.
So Jared and I went to school together, went to high school together. Actually, his older brother, Jacob, was in my grade, and we kind of knew each other. And then I met Jared like after high school, playing music, here and there. And Jared's a great lyricist. He's a great rapper. I'm not sure. Did you play some of the music?
We played the Elephant Parade.
Oh, Elephant Parade. Nice. That was a good one. But yeah, it's so weird that like growing up, like I've, and throughout my life, I've kind of met these people who have been kind of influential in the flat earth community. It's weird, and then I didn't even know that they were. When I started this hip hop project with Jared, I didn't even know that he had done a flat earth video.
I told him, I'm like, dude, this guy's done some flat earth stuff.
Yeah, like it was like a year after Jared and I started our hip hop project that Crumb was like, we're playing On the Rocks one night, and Crumb was like, dude, he has one of the most influential, the most highly viewed flat earth videos of all time on YouTube. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Dude,
I kept trying to tell him that. He's like, nah, all right.
I just didn't click with me until I checked it out and really
it was
looked at
easier
it
to
and stuff,
convince him the earth is flat than that Jared did this.
Yeah.
To be honest, he didn't. There wasn't enough evidence or something.
Yeah, no. But I always knew Jared was, like fairly successful in the YouTube realm,
Right.
in the social media stuff, and he's.
But very few people have broken through with flat. Like, yeah. So with Stephen Carpenter, knowing him,
I
you
love
knowing
the way
him and knowing Jared is amazing,
Right.
and me meeting you.
Right.
But that could but that's very
and then the
fucking
fact that
weird.
you've decided to become like such an instrumental resource in the flat earth community is pretty insane.
I don't know how much I am, but like I enjoy doing this. I don't give a fuck about my reputation, and I don't have anything to lose. So I figure like I'm kind of a calling to it. You can't threaten me. I don't have like kids where it's like you better say the fucking moon landing happened or else you can't do shit to me.
All right, let me explain something to the people out there who may not be fully aware of why you are in that unique position right now. It's because he previously sacrificed all of those other things that were not important. That lost its importance gradually over the way. Crum decided to make the very difficult decision to make changes in his own life.
To be authentic to myself.
Exactly. He cut ties with musical endeavors that weren't serving him. He cut ties.
Well, they were financially. That's for sure.
Exactly, and that's my point. My point is that you made sacrifice. You made financial sacrifice. To follow what was important to you. And guys, so you know, this community is the most important thing to Crum externally to the people that, in his life. This is number one. He focuses on this, and he tries to help people, not just you guys. He tries to help the normies come around. And like he's literally dedicated his entire like existence and like pushed into this. And like I said, sacrificed a great many things.
Yeah, but it's
relationships I've seen come and go because of your dedication to this. Musicians in your life that I've seen come and go with that because of your dedication to this. Bands that were completely financially keeping you not only stable but making great money. You've cut ties with so many different things, and then you just said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be open about who I am, and I'm going to lean into it. And then all those little things started to align, and all the things started to come together. And now you're putting yourself in, now you find yourself in a unique position that you created for yourself. You made this bed for yourself. You don't just land here in this random fucking, I'm able to not give a shit. No, you're not able to not give a shit because you worked on that. You practiced not giving a shit for so fucking long, and you pushed away. Yeah, and that's hard to do, dude. And you pushed away all the bullshit. You sacrificed all the things that really didn't matter, and you made room in your life for the things that do, which is this.
Wow, man. Well, thanks. Putting it that way, yeah, I am awesome.
Isn't he?
No,
fucking badass, right?
Well, I part of me think you're absolutely right, and thank you. That was very kind. And
it's the truth, man. It's not meant to be a.
Well, I guess it's not
an ego boost.
I see. You're just saying the facts.
It's meant to put things in a perspective.
I guess I hear that as a compliment because I respect what you just said a lot. I do, however, think I probably didn't need to cut so much. I think I probably could have salvaged something or figured a way out to not be so cut off. But this was around when COVID happened, and that just kind of sent me into like hyperdrive of like, fuck this.
Right.
And that's just more of an excuse of anything. But what I have learned is I don't think it would have been possible to continue doing some of those music endeavors, especially with like not being this public about it. I just feel like I just knew it would eventually be a problem. And even if it wasn't, it would hinder my creativity doing it. I would always be thinking, is this okay? Is this crossing a line? Is this going to mess with my other stuff? And I feel like my content would suffer just in my own head. Like I really want, like especially the AC/DC thing. Like there's no way we would have done that had I actively been playing in a kids band with a doctor. Like it would have been, I felt like that I would have had to like answer to that or something. And so that's where, that's kind of why. But honestly, that's extreme, you know? Like, you did the same. Like, you bringing it up with, your ex. You said yourself things were going pretty good, but
I thought they were, but I will say that's not the reason we broke up. She moved on for other reasons.
Yeah.
And but I do think that was a factor. I think that was a factor in one of the reasons that we did separate.
Well, yeah, and it brings out.
To tell you right now, it wasn't the main reason.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, no, I know. But being authentic is a big one. I guess that's not. I mean, that's something. I guess it's always been. To me, hey, Run Boston, thanks for the extra tip. Just because you rock, good looking out, guys. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. You got a great.
You're the best.
Chat here.
The best. Awkward as fuck, Crumb. Oh, is that from the video?
Yeah, it's from the video.
Oh man, there are lots of great stuff here. You guys are like too cool because I can't even read all this stuff in time. Do you want to take a quick break and listen to an Eddie song? Huh?
Sure.
That sound good?
All right, this is something I've been working on recently. You guys can download all of my albums for free on my website, eddiebooz.com.
Thanks, Melodome.
And
Got it.
I have albums from everything from hard rock to singer-songwriter, orchestral stuff, hip-hop, a Christmas album up there, all kinds of different stuff. So
phenomenal writer, gets a lot done.
Thank you, brother.
Dude, I grew up in Long Beach, so I've always heard of this gentleman. And we just ran into each other a lot.
Paths, yeah.
Cross paths. Fantastic all around songwriter, multi musician. I mean, yeah, the synchronicities are crazy.
But this song is called "Like the Show." It's very, I don't know.
This is the new one.
Yeah, it's one of the new ones I'm working on. It's very bluesy.
Tight.
It's I was listening to a lot of like Otis Redding when I wrote this. I wrote this about 10 years ago, and I'm finally recording about a collection of songs of some of the songs I wrote from when I was about 18 to now, and this is one of them. Hope you guys enjoy.
The name of this song is "It's a Globe," right?
It's a globe, yeah.
It's a globe. No, just kidding. Like the show. All right.
Baby, storm's coming through. That I know can go dragging you out in the cold. Yeah. Oh, in love with me, feel the wind blow. Oh, now, baby, looks like the rain. It's gonna be warm tonight. Oh yeah. And this world that I see spins away from crazy old me. Oh yeah. Oh, in love with me, feel the wind blow. Try to be a little warm. Lend that love to the faces in the crowd. Try to have a little heart. Try to push a little more. And that loving must go on. Oh yeah, the loving must go like the snow. Oh yeah. Oh now, darling, open up your loving arms. Oh, I wanna jump right in, 'cause this year it's been hard, but it can't go breaking your heart. Oh yeah. loving. Try to be a little warm. And that love to the faces in the crowd. Try to have a little heart. Try to push a little more. And our loving must go on. Oh, yeah, the loving must go on. And we'll try to be a little loving, try to be a little warm, and that love to the faces in the crowd. Try to have a little heart, try to push a little more, and our loving must go on. Oh yeah, the loving must go on. Yeah, the loving must go on. Yeah, the loving must go on.
All right. Isn't that great? Dude, great job, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Ah, great song. Very, very bluesy.
Thanks, guys.
Um,
Appreciate the comments up there too.
Baby,
oh, wait. Turn that off there. Yeah, right on, man. I've always been impressed by how well you get shit done. What I do is I write all these songs and then I start something and then I stop. This computer
all
has
do that.
about like 20. I know we all do.
Yeah.
But everybody at least still makes something. I got about 20 albums of stuff stuck in that computer. I don't know. It's
I know,
just-
dude. Same. Absolutely. Not only that, but I have a feature film that I shot.
Right.
I wrote. We shot it. It's done being edited. It needs some post production. It needs a little bit of music. It needs some other stuff. Thank you guys. I appreciate that, Sue.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, Green Chili Bear. You know what? That song's not out yet, but you know what? I'll send it to Crumb. Crumb, if you can
I'll put it in the
put it in the description of this video.
I'll put it in the Don't Follow Crumb any chat if you like. I can
That's
download
fine.
it.
And then also put it in the description of this video, so people who watch this video on YouTube can
Well, I
just
don't know how to
download
make
it.
a link though, but let me see how I. To the Dropbox.
Yeah, just to let them download the Dropbox file for free.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, and you guys can download the song for free, and we'll put another one in there that's going to be on this upcoming album, so you guys will have access to 2 new songs.
Yeah.
Knife in the Back if you want to.
So I'm gonna forward this
like the
there to the Crumb chat.
Thanks for the.
We'll listen to
guys.
we'll listen to one more when we get to the one out on the outro.
Cool.
There we go. So yeah, I just put it in the any chat, and I'll copy that link.
We're gonna have to figure out a way to play poker with all these people online.
You are obsessed with poker.
I can't stop.
This
I know.
guy, he gets into shit, and then that's it. He's so into it forever. He's like, hey, I'm really into poker. A week later, he bought like a $200 table, and then another week later, he's wearing the visor. He's got all these poker chips.
I just got the table and the chips so we can play. And we
For
play
now.
we play like 3 nights a week.
Yeah, just 3 nights a week. Yeah, no big deal. We all got the time. No problem. We're all adults. We have plenty of time
We
for
all
that.
got the time. Yeah, absolutely. Look, check that out. Crumb, your sacrifice during COVID was an inspiration. Your tunes were blasting at every gas station. That's how I found you. I highly respect you for that era. You know what I'm talking about,
Thanks,
dude?
man. Yeah, no, that was a good time. That was good times, and I thank you. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
hold 'em, Justin.
yeah, we'll play some Hold'em. Yeah, And you guys we could all play for flat smacks.
I love that.
That's the best part.
Are you guys local by any chance? You're all spread out, aren't you?
They're everywhere. This is the internet, bro. Have you heard of it?
I said
they're everywhere.
Any of you local, not all of you local.
You guys are in my computer right here. Come on out.
My buddy Kevin set up this thing where he played poker with his friends, like during lockdowns. By the way, language matters. Lockdowns,
so not not pandemic, not whatever it was.
So whoever's down to get a couple
Bullshit
games together
lockdowns.
going on, we'll do like an online game.
I don't know about online. I like to see people. I like to see people bluff in. So if we can get a camera on people, maybe, so I can watch their hands when they're doing like
You'll have to figure out whether they're. You get on a video chat. It'd be great.
Well,
we got Atlanta, we got Texas, Italy near Venice. Love it.
Dope.
That's tight.
All right.
Wyoming. Scroll up. Let me see who else where they're from. New York. Lowry's in New York. A little further. That's awesome. You guys are really, man. You got a great crowd, man. That is so fucking cool.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. We got Florida for Austin, Alex Michael in Spain.
Yeah, that's so chill.
That is dope. Green Chili Bear says, "Yeah, you ain't lying." So Green Chili Bear must be a Gemini. You guys get into this shit, apparently.
Right.
That's a Gemini thing. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you are. The more astrology is like, you are exactly a Gemini. It's
really?
Oh yeah,
that's funny.
Big time. A lot of good communication. You guys, you never have to worry about coming up with something to say. You never you don't lose. There's never like a loss of words where you're like, I froze.
Except my entire life when I ever tried to talk to a girl.
Well, that's different. That's completely different. Yeah, astrology doesn't matter when
never works out quite the way you hear it in your head beforehand.
And yes, you do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do better than everybody else. Yeah. Well, because you're not using your sun sign, you're using your moon sign. I don't know. Your Scorpio moon. That's your problem right there.
Right.
I don't.
How do I fix my problem?
That's the problem. You want to change your astrology. You want to go back in time and get born 3 days earlier. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's what we need to work on here. Eddie makes a good point. Makes a good point about the benefits of being scapegoated, even to the point of debanking. I'm assuming you mean debunking, but I really like the word debanking. I'm gonna need to debank that. It makes you separate from the grid and find freedom from people shown in the persecution of. Yeah, no, I mean, the best way to know what you want is to know what you don't want. And when you realize, things that, the worst things that ever happen to us are usually the best things that ever happen to us. It's just depending on the time frame. So, being scapegoated, all this stuff, all it's doing is pushing us to our tribe, to people to have like an actual connection instead of just being surrounded by people that are like 50%. Okay, I get it. On the surface level relationships, but you never really get to the nitty gritty. And I think most people are stuck in that. And that is why they go along with them. Hey, just wear the mask. Let's get the shot. Just do the job. Just do this, because they're just surrounded by just surface level content.
Right.
So when these kind of things happen, we get pushed away from those people. Well, what's left? Yeah, put a channel out. Fucking get a fishing line. Like, where are my people? Right. And now you have you upgrade your community, and you find people like you. You find people like Tyler.
I was just gonna say, that what you're saying really gives some validity to what Tyler was saying about how when he met Run Boston Bear and when he met you and me, it was like an instant click,
right?
An instant connection. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been so ostracized, because of what you're saying.
Sure.
That when you find the people who are, like I said, aligned with your values, it almost instantly turns into a welcoming feeling, a warm, welcoming connection between the two people.
100%. That's
You're
all we're
finding
always
these
trying to
people.
do. Isn't that what life's all about? Is finding your tribe. And the best part about flat Earth is it even takes on a little bit of an initiation kind of a thing, where nobody would say they're a flat earther unless they are. That's just a fact.
Right.
Because it's so ostracizing, anybody that says that they are actually went through it. Same as like a fraternity. Like, how do you get people to know for sure that you can trust them? Well, they have to get smacked in the ass a bunch of times and drink a bunch of beer. For some reason, like whatever, any kind of just something has to suck. Something has to prove that you're one of us and we can trust you. And every flat earther, you either, if you're going to put your name on it, you have to be one, because there's no advantage to like not being one. No one would do that unless you are. And that means you went through the journey. So you already went through the fraternal initiation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that
Yes.
also kind of helps. There's another layer to that bond that's specific to flat Earth that you can kind of just like, we don't have to waste time talking about the weather and wondering who is this guy? Who is this guy? Is he cool?
How crazy is it that there's a flip side to that coin, that there's a scientific community specifically dedicated to astronomy and science that get together in these circles, and when they meet each other, feel the exact same way.
What do you mean?
Put that into perspective. Think about that for
You
a
mean
second.
like other people?
Astronomers and all these scientists. Think about that.
But they haven't been ostracized, though. They haven't had to go through
No. I'm just saying the connection.
Oh, the connection.
The connection
sure.
of that same community.
Sure.
They're basing that on the exact same thing.
Sure.
But theirs is based on a lie.
Yeah.
They're
That's why they're the
literally
last people you want to wake up. Are you kidding me? Those people, you know how dumb they're going to feel in 6 months?
They're not going to
These
wake
people are
up.
going to blow their brains out.
Those are the people that Tyler was saying will not come around to it. They'll
I don't want them
deny.
They will blow their brains out. If Neil deGrasse Tyson is like, oh my God, it's flat. That means I lied to everybody on TV on prime time. Oh,
that means my mic drop was no good.
What's he gonna do? It's like, yeah. Was this not scientific enough? I know. Are you kidding me? He's gonna be in a fucking like lazy boy, like in like some apartment eating fucking cheese balls, like on repeat, just watching that, just reliving that shit. Like fucking Bill Buckner probably did after he made that bonehead thing. They're basically gonna Bill Buckner that shit and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't catch that ball. I would have won the World Series. Anyways, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know. It feels so much lighter now, and it's because of stuff like this. And Tyler couldn't have been more cool. Like it took zero time at all.
Nope.
Right when he walked out, because I didn't know much about him. I didn't know him. I'm like, he's a drummer. He's an amazing drummer.
Yep.
Sometimes drummers sometimes really good drummers are kind of rigid, in my opinion. In my experience, really, really technical drummers have been kind of rigid and not flowing. So I didn't know, and immediately he must have said one thing, and I'm like, oh shit, this guy we could.
No, he came
Amazing.
out, gave Crum a hug, gave me a hug, like, oh, let's go backstage and smoke some cigarettes and hang out and fucking.
Yeah, he's like, let's smoke cigarettes. Let's go smoke a shitload of cigarettes and get out of this bullshit party. And
we were already at the after party with Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks and everybody in the band and everything. And he's like, oh, let's go to the backstage. And he took us back where the tour buses were, and we were hanging out, and some of the band members were coming back down and hanging out. And instantly it was like when him and I left, we thought we talked about it. We said to ourselves, we're like, I was like, he seems like somebody who's already been our friend for many years.
Yes.
And somebody who just is like one of our poker buddies or something that comes to but he's
that's how Laurie was too. Like that's what these meetups are like. You got to come to Flattoberfest.
I'll be there.
That's exactly what everybody.
I'll fucking be there. When is it?
Well, that'll be in September 27th, I think. Mojo's shop is in SoCal. Oh, Mojo's the shit. He's cool as hell. Good songwriter.
I'll have him come to poker.
Yeah, come to poker.
So I'm all in.
Mojo's got my number. You're all in? Yeah, me too. Let's see them cards. Yeah.
Yeah. But that also reminds me of something, and I want to ask you guys there in the chat a question.
Nice.
So when I kind of came to terms with the fact that the Earth was flat, which I kind of feel was like a gray area for a little while. It was weird. Like I didn't know how to admit that to myself or whatever. But when I did, I never like once I realized it was flat, I was just like, all right, it's flat. Like I don't
Not
feel
me.
I don't get. Now that's my question. I didn't feel the need to like be the messenger necessarily. And did you guys feel that need as you guys understood the model and became flat earthers yourselves? Did you guys in the chat feel the need to be the messenger, to like bring the message to society, or to like at least be like some sort of like, you know what I mean, like some sort of amplification system for the information? Or did you guys feel like I did and found it and were like, cool, it's flat, cool, moving on with my day?
Yeah,
You know?
I think I don't know. If you're watching me, you're probably like, I don't know. You probably had some talks. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, oh, conspiracy for sure, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been like instrumental in that. Like you've been instrumental in making the content palatable.
He
and
had
making it
stuff
so-
done when I just started looking into it. That's how early he was into it. I was still on the fence when.
I like that, Justin. Knowing the truth is not enough. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I just felt, I don't know. I just felt like cool, you know? I felt personally like, you know what? All right. And I'm just going to move on with my day. But I also found out that over time, largely because of the ridicule you get when you start having these conversations, especially when you first find it.
Yeah.
I found my rhythm.
Right.
I found my rhythm in communicating with people about the subject.
Let me guess. Is it hey, have you considered that everything's a lie?
Everything is a lie, right? Hey, did you believe in the moon
Have you
landing?
considering that
Yeah. Have you considered that all of that's
Oh,
a
you
lie
do
and
believe in the
everything
moon
you know is
landing.
bullshit? Right.
Well, that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
But I mean, like, there, like I said, okay, there's a couple of important factors in when I talk, in how I do this. Like, when I do it is a major factor, and who I do it with. It's who and when you and where you choose to do it with. It's if you
That's everything.
If you make the decision to do it, if your timing is right and you have time with these people, you know, you already have a pre-connection with these people. I like to like have these conversations.
They need to be special too. You don't just give that out to everybody. Think about your intentions here. That's a lot of energy. Do you give energy to everybody?
Pearls before swine.
Right.
You guys know what that means?
That
Pearls
means
before swine.
they need to be like on like the VIP list of people, and you know, and understandably,
Don't toss your pearls of wisdom before somebody who's not ready or willing or has any desire
Yeah.
to accept those pearls of wisdom.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but
Also-
no. So go ahead.
Well, I'd also say like also try to put your. I think some people might. I guess you really shouldn't think about this, but there are some people in positions where if they did entertain this, their lives would be a lot harder, maybe with their job or something. If you have,
Sure.
you know what I mean? It's easier
that's-
for musicians,
I
but
think that's a big problem with everybody. I think
Yeah.
most people in general coming to terms with this would change their daily paradigm. It would change their entire foundation of understanding. It does that, you know? And so it definitely upends some lives, you know? It can definitely upend some people's,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you
So
know.
like to approach it like,
so here's,
you know,
so
consider that.
So here's what I like to do, and I found like fairly efficient ways to do it. So number one, I usually like to make a connection with the person. Like, usually it's somebody that I'm, you know well, play music with, you know, have dated or something along those lines. So I like to say something along the lines of, you know, right off the bat, you know, as we're having conversation, you know, do you see me as somebody who's, you know, intelligent and knows what they speak about and does research before they, you know, talk about something? And usually right at the beginning of the conversation, them acknowledging that they respect you and that they love you and that there's, yes, I do think that you're, intelligent, and if they think you're a kook, they might tell you, they might say, dude, I think you, entertain
that's
a lot
smart.
of
That's
crazy
smart.
stuff.
That takes away
But I
their.
respect what you have to say, it kind of disarms them in a personal way, and it establishes a connection, a personal connection, instead of just jumping into a content-based debate.
They're also agreeing to not look at you as an idiot in that
Bingo.
light. As soon as they've consciously been like, I'm not going to think this guy's an idiot.
And through that conversation, that kind of plays in the back of their mind.
Yeah, they go like, shit, I already, like, as crazy as you
conceded.
sound, you're like, I
Exactly.
already made this deal that I wouldn't think he's an idiot,
That-
even though he's
right.
saying things that are idiotic, or that to him, that
Or
might
that
seem
don't
like
seem
that.
rational to me, right?
So, that's very, very smart.
And then we've talked about this in prior streams. Usually I like to say something along the lines of like, I like to ask them about their own model. I like to ask them about the globe. Just say, hey, how do you know how big around the Earth is? No, 25,000 miles in circumference. Do you know how big around, or do you know how fast we're spinning?
Let's see if the audience knows these questions really
All right,
quick.
let's ask you guys. We're gonna do a little.
You guys
trivia.
better know this.
All right. How big around? What's the circumference of the Earth?
Watch how fast this is.
At the bottom. What's the
Watch
circumference
how
of the
fast
Earth?
all this shit is. Well, who we got? Oh, thank you for the memberships, guys.
All right. What is?
Oh, this is just catching up. Let me see.
Yeah,
I'm
go
over
back to the other
here.
one.
Yeah. Look at this. 24,901. There's no one rounding. That's so fucking funny.
I love it.
Do you
All
guys
right.
mean kilometers or miles?
Right. Exactly.
Nautical miles?
You
or?
guys get the idea. So essentially, I just asked.
Laurie's like, do you want the radius?
Yes.
These guys extra fucking homework, extra credit.
So
Right, yeah.
the point is, we just have like a basic, like, hey, what's this? What's this? And then after like 2 or 3 questions, I say something along the lines of, I ask these questions not to, make you or myself seem stupid or anything like that, because I'm just saying this because it really just highlights how little we know about what we've been told our whole lives, And then I go into a conversation, and what I do is I kind of like, how you like, you just like feel around for the spot that you like can like get in. You know what I mean? Like, so you start with one thing, and then, you move to another, and then you move to another. You make the point in each one. You don't have to stay super long, an hour long on each little point. You just make little points here and there. You make little points about like water on a ball, and you make little points about why we can see much further, even with our naked eye than they're saying we should be able to see things behind a curve, things like that, and all the, little things. You make the points, and it's always one thing. It's always one different thing. My mom, it was flat earth flight plans. One of my exes, it was Antarctica. It was the curvature equation for the cinematographer from my film and television. And so pretty much every woman I've ever dated since I was a flat earther, I've been able to get them on the side of flat earth within, a relative amount of time.
Because like the relationship wasn't already so established on something, so there was room for it. I think it's tough when people are in something for so long and then bring it up because, there's so much on the line.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's isn't this such a weird problem that we have? Like randomly, 2015,
it is.
The entire species just realized that this is a giant lie, and no one wants to talk. It's just such a weird thing to do. It's fun. It makes life fun, though, man.
No, I'll be honest with you. I've gotten through to about, I could comfortably say like 15, 20 people, in the last, like, and it starts getting more frequent. Like, a good friend of mine who's a filmmaker, one of the best directors I know, same, one of my best friends. I told him not too long ago, I said, if you have an hour, we can talk about this, and I guarantee you'll have your own questions by the end of the conversation. And that's the point. And I like to tell him that too. I like to tell him, I can't tell you this. Right. You have to figure it out on your own. I can only give you the seeds and the nuggets. Like, I can only plant the seeds. Like, you have to ask your own questions. You have to go down that rabbit hole on your own. And most people do. After the conversation, like I said, it's one thing that always gets them, like that curvature equation, for for that one guy, man, I laid it in him, and he's not even a good friend of mine. And I talked to him about it, and he called me like 2 weeks later. He's like, "Fuck." He's like, "The Earth is flat." He's like, "You motherfucker."
I just want to say though, like you guys also be
Yep.
very, very cautious and aware of how much energy you give out because because that is yours and that has value.
Pearls before
I
swine.
charge people $75 an hour if I'm going to teach them how to play the guitar. I will pay people $75 an hour to let me talk about flat Earth. Almost like it's ridiculous how much we fucking give this away. Like you guys, like if someone's like talk to me about anything, we're like, dude, and then like what about flat Earth? We're like, wah! And we get so we just be mindful of all the energy because that is your value, guys. You guys, you don't need to. If you want to, you can.
Absolutely.
What do you got?
Go to Justin's right there. I have an 8th grade education and will put my knowledge against any credential in this topic. You know what?
Yeah.
That right there. I want to say something about that. What
Say
he
it.
said right now.
Say it, brother.
Is so fucking important because that statement right there completely breaks down the appeal to authority argument. Because if a man with an 8th grade education is confident enough to do the research himself and understand what most scientists tell us, oh, it's beyond your understanding, leave it to us. And that's another thing I tell people when I talk to them is I tell them it's not beyond you. All this stuff is basic understanding.
It's super
you just
easy.
have to
It's not
do
hard.
the research. It's not that hard. It's all the information is obtainable. You can totally understand this. And once people get that like, oh, I can wrap my head around this, like it's not so.
But they're so used to the explanations being something that's too hard to understand.
Right.
And they think that's what credible science is.
But Justin, what he just said, that right there is the confidence that normies in general
Don't be
lack.
afraid of that shit. Don't let them
the
gaslight you into thinking that
They
you
literally-
get to have an opinion on science. Yeah.
Right. They would literally
Absolutely.
rather have people tell them what to think and have their lives be easier than taking
Right.
any time to go ahead and analyze and parse raw data. And that's another problem today in general in society. People are not as willing and able to do exactly that. To actually analyze and parse raw data, which every single fucking one of you guys in this chat have done to an extended amount to get to where you are. I'm 100% sure of it.
Yeah, there's an interview with the Beatles in 1966 where this interview was trying to like shame them for their content, and he goes, there's a rumor saying that your song here is about prostitutes and drugs. What do you have to say about that, Paul? And then Paul goes, yeah, I just felt like writing a song about prostitutes and drugs. And then they're like, it's just shut them down. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
And these ideas, these are antiquated concepts. Maybe in the 50s, he would have been like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It's not really about that. But they reached a point where they can just publicly be like, yeah, I wanted to write a song about prostitutes and drugs. And they realize, oh, that doesn't work anymore. Just like what you're saying. Oh, where's your credentials? Where did you go? How do you know about science? Did you see your degrees? Like those days are done. You do not need to be afraid of that shit anymore. In fact, you should, like the fact that you don't should be a badge of honor, in my opinion.
Absolutely. We were having a conversation with Dave last night, and his son just got accepted to USC, and Dave's afraid to fucking send him there. The guy got a great scholarship, and Dave's afraid. He's like, man, I'm afraid my son's gonna.
Well, that's because he's Jewish and the ADL and all that stuff. But like that's another thing. What's going on? He doesn't want his son
But
to
in
get
general,
the deal.
yeah, you're gonna be, you're gonna be told.
Right. Right. Well, I wanted to keep it tight tonight, so we've gone almost 2 hours here, so I say we wrap it up because
Sounds good.
I think we're pretty good. Any last questions for the last minute? I'm gonna pull up your second song while we do that. From commercial down, any questions for us? From @JDown. We're gonna let that build
And then
up.
we'll put those two song links up in the.
I already put them in the chat.
Yeah, put them in the YouTube description so when people watch.
I can't do it
afterwards-
until I'm done with the stream.
Okay.
Though.
Well, once we're done with the stream, we'll throw those in the
I
description.
don't think I can. At least maybe I can.
No, you don't have to edit it while we're doing it.
No, I don't mind.
I don't care.
But
I was just saying, if people wanted to download it, they're more than welcome.
yeah, Yeah. Well, it's also in my Telegram. Don't follow Crummy chat. What am I looking at? What am I doing? My brain is literally taking a dump right now. I'm just staring and thinking, where is? Oh, there, right there. There we go. Which one we want to do here, Mama or
Knife in the back and liking the show. Both those.
Knife in the back?
Knife in the back and like the show. You can put those two in the.
Oh, right. I'll forward this. Forward that there. I guess I could play it here. Yeah, let me just play it. Do you want to do anything live? I don't know if we have it set up.
I don't care.
Is there anything you would think of? My go-to would be like Eat the Meek, to be honest, because it's kind of fun. But
do whatever you want.
You feel like doing a little Eat the Meek?
Sure.
Would you be down?
Whatever, dude. Let me pull the lyrics up on my phone.
I can pull them on the TV here.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, let's do that, and then I'll play this from the outro. That'll be
right.
fun. It's a no effects song, I'll be like, but the lyrics are like, to me, very appropriate. Eat the Meek. All right, let's do it. And I'll put a little reverb on this guy, jam it up. We're working on a project where we're doing punk rock songs done all loungy. Did you use it?
Yes, sir. There's never gonna be enough space to eat the meat, savor the taste.
Okay, so
Do me a favor. Would you turn so your head that?
yeah. Ugh. I don't hear anything though. Are you
I don't
hearing
either.
it?
No, I'm out.
Oh, because this thing went out. Okay.
That's why we're not hearing.
Yeah. Here we go.
There we go. I'm gonna take my headphones off so I don't. Why must we stay? Oh, I didn't think my voice would work that well
It works.
at noon.
And all right.
Yeah. I usually need till like 6 p.m. for my voice to be like.
Why must we? That's right. Okay. So okay.
Let's this over a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit there. I think that'll work.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, we got the lyrics up.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, so 2, 3, 4. Why must we stay where we don't belong? Why must we stay where we don't belong? Because there's never gonna be enough space. So eat the meek, savor the taste. It's always gonna be a delicacy. So lick your chops and eat the meek. Why must we stay where we don't belong? Why must we stay where we don't belong? The factory mass producing beer, bottle cap distributed near, foreign sold for a reasonable price. The people that love it, they feed it, brush with it, bathe with it, breathe it, inject it, forgotten code, discarded youth. You know there's always gonna be pedigree. One on the air, another pay to breathe. Why must we stay where we don't belong? 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 Where we don't belong.
Nice, man.
That was a fun tune.
That
I was
is a
like
fun
playing that
tune.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I always liked that one too. I always thought the lyrics were pretty fucking deep.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
It's a good one. It's a No Effects tune, but highly underrated in my opinion. But
Yeah.
for a No Effects song. What up, Rose is here. All right, let me see if there's any questions. Let me turn this.
Yeah, you guys got any questions?
I had questions from Jay Down. Is what I wanted to do. There we go. Nice show. What's the meaning of life? Conspiracy music said. Hey, you know what? I know the meaning of life. Well, I know the secret of life is there's two things. If you can master these two things, you never have to worry about anything. Unconditional love and strong, healthy boundaries. Those two things, that's it.
Will give you a good life.
We'll give you a good life.
My take on that is the connections with the people who are you're closest with in life. Just cultivating.
Laurie
those.
says the answer is blue.
Perfect.
42. Did Dolly have braces? I don't know. Let's see. This guy reads taste colors and hear numbers. What is popular is rarely true.
Hey,
Okay.
thanks for throwing my YouTube in there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
That might be the other one. That might be the live channel. If you go to just youtube.com/Eddie Booze, that's my normal channel. I got two channels. I had like a live one and a normal channel.
No, it's this one at Eddie Booze right there.
Okay, I thought it said Eddie Booze Band.
That's the
Gotcha.
one-
That's
the one I put in the,
That one's right. That one's right. Sorry about that.
That's good. Yeah.
I read it wrong, actually. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man, get some love over there, dude. He's got some amazing content, dude. If you guys like No Effects, check out his channel. He does some amazing covers for that, like with violins and stuff. It's
Yeah.
incredible. He's done some amazing stuff. Check it out.
Tons of like old live streams and stuff, like over 100 live streams that I did where I interviewed people from musicians, the filmmakers, to the mechanic for the Goodyear blimp, to MMA fighters, to directors of film and television and things like that. So if you just check the channel out, there's all kinds of content on there. Hopefully you guys enjoy.
It's legit. Fat Mike is a dick. Yeah.
I heard that. I heard that.
I know it. Yeah, of course he is. I heard a story from a friend that, okay, so basically, like, one show, like, he got there and he was trying to be cool with the audience and he had a bottle of tequila and was passing it around and was like, yeah, guys, get drunk with me. And then, like, when the show started, there was a video of him peeing in that bottle. And,
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
so that's kind of fucked up. Like, so the audience was like, oh, great, I just took a, but they were probably stoked. I don't know. That's pretty, I don't know where that.
That much piss, bro.
I know. I'm just trying to think. Like, that's sad. Yeah. Don't talk to me about No Effects. I drank his piss.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
At a backyard party in '92, man.
Dude, I'm so cool.
Dude, like we met this guy at the show, and he was like, yeah, man, I saw Van Halen at a backyard party.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. We were at It was Boomerland at the Greek Theater this weekend. So
I
it was
get
just
along with Boomers
they were-
great.
I think the
I play
boomers
their
are great,
music,
but
so I get along with them great.
buckle up for a story that starts like, there I was. I smoked a joint of Northern Lights, had a couple Quaaludes.
Stevie
and
Nicks and-
Stevie Nicks in the corner. Van Halen was just tuning over here. And I mean,
that's funny.
you know the boomer stories. Get out of here.
There's a I know the Decline. Hey, the Rose. I actually do a live version
Dude,
of
he
the
does
Decline
it.
on my channel.
Dude.
You know?
Oh, man. Yeah, go to that channel. Yeah. He does it. It's like a 17-minute song.
Yep.
All right. What up, Brianne Lynn, by the way? Good to see you. Hell yeah. I just saw.
Hey, you guys are awesome. Yeah, I do a full
cover.
acoustic
It's good.
live Decline cover on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go check it out. I think it's like one of the first videos you see on my channel. Or just
It's dope.
when you go on YouTube, just search Eddie Boo's The Decline and you'll see it.
Should be. Yeah, that's the channel.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can-
that one's one of our more there we go, right there. Yeah, first right there.
Oh,
No
yeah.
Effects, The Decline, live acoustic. It's
Yeah,
only
I mean,
got 9,000 views too. I thought.
Shut up. 9,000 is amazing. You're good.
No, yeah, just some of the other ones have more. I was like, I just thought it had more actually.
Oh, there we go. I'm going to put the Decline in the chat. There it is. I think I got it there. All right. All right, what do you say we call it? I feel like it feels good.
That sounds good, man. I
Feels like a
mean,
good time to call it.
yeah,
I
that sounds
wanted
good.
to get-
We're gonna go record your stuff too.
Oh, right, yes. I wanted to leave with your other tune, though.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Let's show them
Let
one more
me-
song. Again, this is another one from my upcoming album from my band Eddie Boo's and the Business.
Knife in the back, right?
Knife in the back. Show them Knife in the back.
So I think I could just play it and let it go through. All right,
How'd
y'all,
you do
we're
it
going to
last
play
time?
this
Oh, you
out.
brought it into.
We're going to play this out. Let me make sure you guys can hear it. It would be about one of those. So that. All right, y'all. Thanks, Eddie, for being here. Appreciate it, brother. Good times. You gonna come back next month? Oh, soon?
I stand on the edge of my street with a knife held in my back. Not an enemy to secretly creep to position at the tap. We gotta go for the medal that we winning in. Odds break a little bit, odds keep on blistering. Go for the medal that we winning in. Odds keep blistering on, but it's so hard to let it go. You embrace the pain and need it slow. Just our time to say So